Now look at these little worlds in here. Oh, God, right? Hello, and welcome to the Quest for Details. Or welcome back if you're a returning viewer, a subscriber hopefully, if I've earned that over time. This is the first episode of Season 9, so we're about to get the quest underway. And these videos, some of them will be how-to videos this year. That's one of the concepts. I'm going to do a how-to series on rock hounding and some of the other treasure hunting that we do and who knows what. So this one is going to be a how-to on rock hounding, real basic, and in each one of these I intend to not try and do a whole video. I've seen a lot of videos on how to rock hound. I grew up reading dozens and dozens of books and rock hounding guides, and everyone starts out with how to rock hound. So instead of laying out every rock hounding tool that I use, I figured that in each of these episodes I'll show you how I am rock hounding that day, what tools and techniques I'm going to use for both finding the location and making our decision about where we're going to then getting there and getting the access, to the ways that we're going to carry our rocks, to some identifying in each of the videos. And as we change, so do our tools. So sometimes I'm carrying buckets, sometimes I'm carrying rock chisels, sometimes I'm carrying jackhammers and sledgehammers. So at this point today I can show you what we're going to bring with us, and then how I found this location originally, and then we're going to do some basic rock hounding and make it a simple video. And this is the first video of Season 9, so thank you for everybody who is returning to view this season with me from other seasons. And yeah, just a reminder to everybody new and old on the quest that there are 8 other years besides this one. This will be the start of our 8th. This will be the start of our 9th season and our 9th year, and then there are 8 others. And if you go to the home page of Quest for Details, you can see there's about 1,200 something videos, and click on any of those and there are playlists there and everything else. So with no further ado, let's go ahead and look at what I'm bringing with us, and then we're going to jump in my car and drive about 15 miles from this location, stop at a little store, get some supplies, and get out on the gravel. So in this basic rock hounding trip, I'm not going to show you what's inside the bag. That'll be another time. This is personal, so this is my camera gear. Everything that I use to shoot the quest goes inside this bag, and then sometimes I bring more depending on the type of mining or treasure hunting that we are doing. So today, spray bottle, although it is winter time and there are so many little rivulets and water and pools that you barely need it, but I'm bringing it dry and in our side pouch, and we can fill up there. Sometimes you want to make sure you got your water supply beforehand. It's always good because water is what makes rocks look even more beautiful than they do dry. It tends to bring out all of their features and gives you a reveal of what they might look like polished. So this very camera that we're using then goes in my top pouch here, batteries and on into that. That's wow, a lot of dog hair there. That's the facts of life, right? Dog hair if you love dogs. And that's the bag. In that bag today, instead of a bucket, I am using these two, and we'll be doing a leapfrog technique. And these are felt bags. I like using felt bags because they tend to not rip out on you if I'm going to use a bag at all. And these are what you carry gravel in, so they can be acquired at different gravel stores or online. You know, they're a basic black felted sandbag for carrying aggregates and making weighted bags to hold stuff down on construction sites, that type of thing. And in them I modified them and put some handles in here so you can carry. The reason why I'm bringing 2 and actually 3 bags with us, a plastic bag also, is because we're going to do what I call a leapfrog, just meaning, or we could call it a Russian doll, whatever you want. As you start, I hardly ever can make myself go to the end of a rock hounding spot and then walk back, you know, which would be optimal. You'd go somewhere with empty bag or bucket and then you'd start filling it on your way back so it was heaviest right as you were about to leave. None of us do that. So if I'm in a big gravel bed like the ones that we're going to, I like to do stage drops. So I will fill up one, and then when it's too heavy to carry along, I'll stage it somewhere where I know I'm going to find it. And then you got a light bag, which is always inspiring. Fill up the next, keeping in mind what you have to carry back overall when you gather them all back up. So don't be ridiculous. But if you're going to be ridiculous and you've already dropped off 2 behind you, then you carry another light one because, hey, you know, what if you just get onto a creek that is solid something awesome, you know, which all of us do every time because we love everything, right? So there's your backup bag. The nice part about all these is that they fold up infinitely smaller. That weighs some ridiculously light amount until you start filling them back up, and they're non-cumbersome. And today needs to be a non-cumbersome day because today we may do a long distance hike, and I didn't want to be loaded down with my bucket contraption with the wheel, which I'll show you in other videos if you haven't seen it, or any of my bucket carries or any of that. I wanted to be able to have most of my stuff in the backpack and do long distance if we needed. And then the bag system is one of the best, you know. Sometimes when I'm going deep prospecting, I don't gather much and I'll carry it all back in my backpack because you're going to need both of your hands to be able to get yourself back, you know, between climbing and scrambling and stuff, or the tools that you're carrying or the filming equipment or what have you. So today we're going for a more heavy collection, obviously. In the very end I'll be staggering back with 2 handfuls of big felt bags full of rocks, hopefully. And hopefully they're all awesome. Hopefully you'll come with me and see that. But yeah, that's the most extreme that I need to carry. These fold up nicer when you have 2 hands to do it, and then they fit down in your little bag real clean. And that can almost stuck underneath my little spray bottle here. And our method of finding a location on this one originally was that I used Google Earth, and this was a few years back. Looking at the general area that I was in, I started going around and looking at all the creeks and following them until I could find a road that bisected those creeks. So in California we are massively landlocked, meaning along each one of these roads this whole thing will be private property. But that has been that way for so long that long ago they put in state legislation into our California state constitution that all of the navigatable, main walkable waterways and stuff would all be public. So you have to be allowed access and blah blah blah. So there's been lots of land fights historically, and access granted, and public access points developed all along the waterways, and it's still a contested thing on both sides because you have ever new people moving into the state that are from states that where you can own the waterways, and so it can be a learning process for everybody over and over again. That's not necessarily what this video is about, but you will find if you are rock hounding in California that a lot of the access is going to be right where bridges are. That's one of my main tricks. So that's going to be for today in this video of how to. That's my second tip besides the bag tip, is how to find your location. Number 1, using Google Earth in this matter, but you could use Google Maps or any of the satellite imaging devices or sites that there are out there, and look around the areas where you're going to be going to, traveling to, intend on being, or would like to go, and Keep in mind that these videos are based on how to rockhound in California, and so when dealing with all this private property, I just want to put in a side note here that states like Nevada, I think, are 80% public land. So California is about the opposite of that. And to find access to the creeks, my main tip for finding locations in this state is to find places where your public roads cross your public waterways. And oftentimes you already find there's pathways, four-wheel drive ruts, that's where everybody hangs out. Those are the beaches where people congregate and continuously basically just establish their public rights. And that goes for every little road that you'll find going up and down and across California. Those are really good spots because all fence lines basically have to come to a point and then stop. They can't fence over your public road. And so that's your little wiggle spot to get up and down the waterways. Now, always apply common sense and courtesy to everything you're doing, and be a good ambassador of your hobby, of rockhounds in general. You know, show that we can have great respect for people's privacy and their private property, and still, you know, use our public waterways and stuff. So that's my advice, is to find little crossroads in the places that you want to go where the waterways cross them, and that's your X on the map. And I'd drive there and I would check them out. Half the time it's going to be a deep channel, no gravel, and then the other half the time you're like, wow, okay, I have a new access point. So that's what I did. I looked all around and I found a spot on the creek that I had been getting good minerals out of, and I looked on Google Earth and I found a spot up a country road that I had only been on a few times outside of town, but where it came really close to it. And then I did the footwork on the ground. I located a spot where all of the fence lines ran out and where the public road and the public creek touched each other, and then I used that as my access spot. And sometimes you get really lucky and they're out in the middle of nowhere and behind vineyards where nobody cares. And then I again use common sense and courtesy, and you should be all good. So let's go ahead and get out to the gravel. And fun part where you go collect some stuff and put it in the bag, and I hope that is helpful, and we'll keep doing these, and hopefully by the end of season 9 I will have given away all of my secrets and everything that I know. And yeah, let's go ahead and do this. This is one of my favorite views as we come up over the ridge here. I'll try and get it for you. It's a shot at Cob Mountain, which is this part of California's most active and listed as dangerous volcanic zone. So there's a power plant up on that mountain. You can see it there. You see the steam release coming out of there. So it's a hydrothermal power plant. So their turbines are powered by the volcanic activity inside that mountain right there. And you see how much steam is coming out of there. So if you looked even closer, you'd see pipes running all over that mountainside, and they collect the steam and use the heat of the lava that's close to the surface there to turn big electric turbines and produce electricity. It used to produce up to 50% of San Francisco's electricity before its population grew. And we are going to the very base of that mountain to hunt the biggest creek beds that run along the base of it. So, a very cool area geologically to be hunting. And yes, you can collect rocks from public land. 15 pounds is the average, between 15 and 20 per day. And for not commercial uses, they don't want you to build roads and pave highways with the stuff, but because they need it to build roads and pave highways with the stuff. State, and at a large percent of state parks and properties also, unless stated specifically otherwise. And you can look up both in the California public lands and the California state parks. They have whole sections titled Rockhounding, and it lays out the the same information that I just gave you, basically. And then you can find the rest of the public water information in the state constitution. And I still think Middletown has the coolest water towers. They just painted them. I think if you're gonna have big water towers on the tallest hill around, they should look something like that. Pretty cool, huh? Now to the dirt road for a bit, which would lead us to probably one of my next tips, which is when you park courteously. Don't block traffic, even if you have to walk for a little ways. Don't ever block a gate. Some of the best parking spots that you'll find are right in front of gates. Don't park there. There's people's driveways, even for cow land and stuff. And again, be a good ambassador. And the very next tip is, I'd say when you're driving to a location, don't just be blind to the area around you. Keep your head on a swivel. Because I saw this little creek, and even though it usually looks all overgrown because of the leaves that would normally be on these trees during the summer, there's access right now. And that leads us to one of my final tips for the how-tos on the beginning of this video, which is if it's winter and you know you're going to be crossing a lot of water, wear some rubber boots if you don't have to hike super far across the mountains. I've been using these that the company Cacao sent to me. There's a link for them in the description below. I'm not getting paid for this video, but they did send them to me. They are what I'm wearing, and they are kind of a hybrid of a hiking boot and a rubber boot, and I've been enjoying them. So there's the brand, and yeah, we are crossing water. It gets really deep right there. I found one little spot here. Sometimes you have to walk up and down, and then it looks like there might even be a little patch of gravels here. Now the interesting part about this would be these are some of the tributaries leading into the gravel beds that we were going to. So when you're prospecting, here's another tip, is you're constantly trying to find the source of the rocks that you're finding in the gravel beds. And that's one of the main things about prospecting, is that if you know that a rock is here and the water is traveling down the channel, then the rock has been carried from somewhere upstream. So somewhere upstream is where the rocks are coming from, or the gold, or whatever you're finding in the rivers. So, what is this? That looks peculiar in its own way. So here, since we're hunting agates and stuff in the lower channel, you would be hoping for some signs of them in this channel. Or just even to identify the rocks that are coming down this channel, and they'll give you more of a clue of where your source is. And it does look like we have calcite crystals in here, and a lot of sedimentary sandstone. Sedimentary? Yeah, it looks like calcite there. So I will explore this gravel a little bit, and then we'll probably head on down the road to where we were going, unless we do this channel and totally sidetrack. Be flexible, because your greatest finds and adventures will be the ones that are serendipitous and unplanned for, I guarantee it. It's important to get out there, have an intention, have some way of formulating your plan and all that, but then don't be afraid to just switch all that up. See, this particular channel looks like there's little patches of gravel, but then a whole lot of brush and stuff. So we'll give it a little bit more of a walk, but then I think we're just going to the huge thing that all of these feed into. Okay, to the main channel, and you can see why. And you can see, since last time we were here again, it's been washed clean. And those are the first two footprints. So, from square one again, it's a whole new game. I've walked in right here before and found a big old agate laying right there. So, I love having everything washed clean. It's still even a little damp, and we got standing pools everywhere. So, let's get on with this. My plan is to go ahead and just kind of, instead of zigzagging across all of this, I'm just going way up the channel and get to some areas farther from this entry spot. Beautiful day, beautiful day. Absolutely just rainbow colors of stones in these beds. We're lucky we're in the coastal range of California, and like I said, now we're too close to the base of Cob to even see the mountain. We're in the rolls right at the base of it here. So, great zone, and it's always hard to pick your path because you can't cover everything, especially if they're like this and they're 2 miles long. So I am just gonna walk, wow, hang on. Just gonna walk up the main water channels here. They've had the most erosion happen since the last time anybody was here, because there are other hounds that are aware of these sites that use these same techniques. And so yeah, whenever you can get to the most undisturbed, undiscovered, freshest zones, that is optimal. So we just walked up and picked up this crazy looking thing. It is a gob of agate. The agates here generally form in crevices instead of bubbles, and so they can tend to be very flat, sandwiched, and they are still chalcedony and swirls of stone. There's the print of your common agate, and this has little clear crystalline quartz sections to it. It isn't in this form the biggest shower so far, but it is a great start because we just walked up and plucked an agate, and with all the windows and crystal sections and all that, you never know what's hidden inside here if we decide to cut it. So we're just gonna start walking along, and like I said, to limit my wanderlust, I'm not gonna go over all these sections. We're just gonna go up the water channel here and try and get some distance on, because I had delusions of maybe going far off to the other gravel beds, but I don't know if we need to do that. So we'll just call it as we go here. If we keep finding big ones just laying out, we'll just start there. Always be flexible. This is great, getting to walk through these sections. There's so much water on them now. If this is dry, it's a whole different game. You're just trying to look for hints and then spraying them down. And this can go dry real quick. This is just a side channel. The main creek is over there. So this is just a standing pool, and because it rained yesterday, it's this high. And we have this much water to go through. And that's why the boots are really awesome, is because they allow you to walk over all these wet areas and look directly down. We got a little sunshine breaking through, so this is sincerely optimal viewing conditions. Look at this, whatever this is. It's a schist, I think. Wow, that's a really cool schist. I think it was looking better in the water in this light, because it was really revealing the metallic to it. See, there's quartz in there. You see that metallic sheen? That piece is awesome. Wow. So yeah, that's what I would assume it is. It's a type of schist mixed with some quartz, and not sure what's giving it the metallic. A lot of the schists have that metallic look to them. And it's heavily metamorphosized, so it's sedimentary rock that got baked and bent and changed, and there is a massive amount of that in this creek bed because, like I said, we're about 5 miles from where there are geysers and power plants. That's the steam that you see rising there. We have things. What is that? Oh, a piece of serpentine, just really cool looking. We have conditions here a lot like Yellowstone. So we have a Old Faithful geyser that goes off regularly out of the valley bottom, which was a copy of the other one in Yellowstone as far as the name goes. I have to stop babbling about all of that though, because I see an agate right there. You know how I can tell it's an agate? The same way you can. Let's zoom in on it. And you'll see its rind, its skin. See that pitting? That's some sort of silicate mineral there. Oh, it is. Oh, and it's purple. It's purple. It's got some definite purple to it, but yeah. Look at the agateness. See the water lines going on in there? That is fun. And then on this side it gets more crazy coated, but it's like a pink purple. Let's put that one under again too. Gotta get out my bag here soon. But yeah, look at that. I think shooting through crystally icy water might be one of the best ways to do this. Seems to help the camera super focus too. Look at all that going on. That's a fun little one. And those are fun big ones. I gotta slow down now a little bit. Put these away. And yeah, that was a good first 10 feet. Imagine what's out there. I think it's just super easy to see with this magnifying lens of still glassy water over the whole thing. Take a look at this next jasper piece. You see that? Yellows. Okay, putting these down, timing out. I'll see you in a second. You guys know what that is? It's a beaver stick. See the chew marks on there? That's from their teeth. So they collect these and then they keep them near to their low dens and they peel off the bark, which is what they eat. And this is a willow. And they've been feeding on that, and then this is just the remnant that's floated downstream. And there are several little beaver dams upstream. That's why this place has some hard to cross spots. And here's a big old chunk of this wonderscape stone. Volcanic tuff that gets all sorts of patterns just like the wonder stone. And picture jaspers. I'm not going to start off taking big pieces like that, but there are days where I do come collect massive gobs of just that, so I am in love with it. Oh, look at this jasper here. Let's pop it out. Beautiful. That's a nice yellow. Again, the lens of the water is just perfect. Golden plumes. Little hints of reds and pinks. The brachiations in the side there. We'll take it. Little boulder of yellow, that's good enough. I'm gonna limit the jaspers at the start here, like I said. Going for distance, but man, you can see how it develops. I sure haven't made much distance, have I? We'll see. Thank you for joining me, and if you're finding this video informative, please share it with anybody else that you think might like it, any rock hounding groups or anybody that you know. And if you would, you can always give me a thumbs up there, hit that like button, because it helps the algorithm know that this is a worthwhile channel for other viewers to watch. And a subscription is the very desired thing that you could give me if you really wanted to, and that would let me know that there's more and more of you out there that want to watch these videos, which is very inspiring, and I always appreciate it. My most favorite serpentine comes from this channel right here. It's got such gorgeous color to it. It just stands out. And it's so pure. It's not just like surface layer stuff like you find in other deposits. These are solid chunks of this material that's this color all the way through. And I love them. Love them, love them, love them. So many things I could show you. Gotta try and be picky here. Here's a little cool piece of this Lice gang, but it's made into itself into like a puzzle rock. A lice gang formation. Little type of ironstone. Kind of chalky, but cool looking at the same time. I see a little nugget of green over here. Yeah. This next one, and look at it underwater. I took a shot for Instagram because I couldn't help myself. And look at it. I stood right on top of it, and then my brain said, "What are you standing on?" It's white and milky, but look at the patterns in that. See them? It's a little slabber. And it's got some stuff going on. You gotta look for those hints of something that might be killer to cut. See those milky water lines running all the way through the side of it there? And just that. Just look at that. So another chunk of that. This one's a little more interesting. You can see the layers that once were more agate layers going on there with it. But those still, you can actually still see there's chalcedony mixed in there. But that's what makes it interesting when you cut it. It does still have a lot of crazy patterns to it. I think we'll go ahead and bring that one because it's got such a mix of the agate and the what I'm calling a calcite creature mixed together. So into the bag with ya. Start off with the plastic bag because it's visible. We might leave it in the middle of a spot where it's the only place we can get through. Are you anything? If you are, you're a big something. Let's rinse it off. That's why we have the multiple bags to drop if we have to. I'm thinking pretty basic chunk of quartz. It was just this druze covering here. Little layer of bubbly druzy. Something drew me out of the channel, but this one, oh, it's got color and little cavities of druze. Okay, let's take it to the water. Look at the sunshine shining down in the little water for us. Oh, look at the little agate right there. Look at that. No crevice agate right in front of us. See the little patterning on the top there? It's a little matrix patterning. It's a side profile. Or this little matrix patterning. Cute little thing. That'll do. We'll put you on the shoe. And now, back to you. Look at that. Purples and pinks. It's beautiful. Now look at these little worlds in here. Oh, God, right? Bubbly, nubbly little pocket on that. Flip it over, there's the next one. Put it back under the lens here. Wow. Wow. And the whole thing is a mass of fine agatry, and it looks like it has some volcanic tuff woven in and silicated, which can actually make some pretty cool patterning all through it. But there is a large amount of chalcedony mixed in with the whole thing, and those two cavities are awesome for sure. Ooh, look at that. It's beautiful in that light. Whatever minerals and stuff there are in this water, and then the sunshine interacting with it, makes a great lens. Beautiful. Okay, grab the one from the shoe. And yeah, we're surrounded by beautiful. We're blessed. Blessed and blessed.